Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. I'm Ashwarya Kapoor with you. Let us start the Breakfast News with the top headlines. Prime Minister Modi to kick off BJP campaign in West Bengal with public rallies in Siliguri and Kolkata. Poll rallies also planned in Arunachal and Maharashtra. Campaigning intensifies for Lok Sabha polls. The BJP chief Amit Shahs to address rallies in Uttarakhand and Jammu and Kashmir. Rahul Gandhi in Nagaland and Assam. TMC chief Mamata Banerjees to launch her party's campaign in home state West Bengal. Mayawati to campaign in Andhra Pradesh with the new rally ally Jan Kalyan Sena. BJD chief Naveen Patnaik to hold rallies in Odisha. Jaish-e-Mohammed, the terrorist Nisar Tantre arrested in Delhi airport after UAE deports him. Tantre involved in 2017 CRPF camp attack in Kashmir that martyred 5 personnel. And Rajya Sabha Day being observed today, Upper House first constituted on 3rd of April 1952. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu congratulates the Council of States and all members, officials and employees. First up, let's get you all the news related to the upcoming Lok Sabha and Assembly elections. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to launch BJP's campaign in West Bengal today. Kickstarting the campaign, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address public rallies in Kolkata and Siliguri. West Bengal is a politically sensitive state with a total of 42 Lok Sabha seats, the third largest number after Uttar Pradesh's 80 and Maharashtra's 48. The BJP is looking at making inroads into the TMC-ruled state after a good performance in last year's rural polls as well as in a few by-polls as well. BJP President Amit Shahs has also set an ambitious target of winning at least 23 seats in the state. Prime Minister Modi will also lead BJP's campaign in Maharashtra and Arunachal Pradesh. He is scheduled to address a rally in Pasighat in East Siang district at 10 a.m. and in the evening, Prime Minister Modi will address a rally in Gondia in Maharashtra. Voting will be held in these constituencies on 11th of April in the first phase. Prime Minister Narendra Modi earlier on Tuesday addressed rallies in Bihar's Jammu and Gaya Lok Sabha seats, both of which go to polls in the first phase. Addressing a rally in Gaya, PM Modi thanked the people for giving him and the BJP the opportunity to serve them and said that he will form the government again with their blessings. Later, the Prime Minister also held a public meeting in Bihar's Jammu. Addressing the gathering, he said that governance gets in the reverse gear when Congress and its allies come to power. LJP chief Ramvilas Paswan's son Chirag Paswan is contesting from the Jammu seat. Remember, LJP is part of the BJP-led NDA.
कि पुलवामा हमले के बाद देश के वीर सपूतों ने किस तरह अपने शौर्य का प्रदर्शन किया। भारत के इतिहास में पहली बार आतंकियों के घर में घुसकर उनको सबक सिखाने का काम हमारे जवानों ने किया। आज पूरी दुनिया आतंक पर हमारे प्रहार की चर्चा कर रही है, लेकिन महामिलावटी कहते हैं मोदी सबूत दो, सबूत दो।
And our colleague Akhilesh Suman is now joining us live. Akhilesh, very good morning. You are tracking all the Prime Minister's rallies very, very closely. And, as the Lok Sabha elections are drawing near, of course, the political temperature in West Bengal is also set to soar high, with both the BJP and Trinamool Congress launching their election campaign. It is very interesting because PM Modi will address a rally in Siliguri, and Mamata Banerjee will also hold her first meeting today in North Bengal. So interesting rallies lined up for the day.
This is really very interesting because you know that this seat is very important. This region is actually very important for both Mamata Banerjee and also for the BJP. And that is why Mamata Banerjee had earlier challenged Prime Minister Narendra Modi to go into presidential type of debate when both can share a stage and address the rallies together and have a debate like US president type of debate. But anyway, given the fact that North Bengal is very important for BJP, BJP is having one seat in Darjeeling and eyeing on other seats because there are 5 seats in North Bengal. The 2 seats are going to be polling to be held in 2 seats in first phase, and in second phase it will be 3 seats. First phase, you know that Kuch Bihar and Alipurdwar is also very important for Mamata Banerjee because these are the seats that is very important for her. And in the second phase, you know that Darjeeling is very important for BJP because BJP has to retain this seat, and Raiganj is one seat that is very important as far as Congress and BJP and CPIM is concerned because it is the seating seat of CPIM, but Congress is eyeing on the seat. Deepa Das Munshi has been fielded from there, and Trinamool and BJP is also in the fray. So it is very important region, and you know that this is the region that is also connected to Bangladesh border in many ways, and in many areas you might have heard that land boundary agreement. The major impact of land boundary agreement has taken place in this area. So in that way it is very important for Mamata Banerjee and Prime Minister Narendra Modi's BJP, and that is why Mamata Banerjee has taken the chance that she will address the rally in Kuch Bihar after Prime Minister finishes the rally in Brigade Parade Maidan in Kolkata, because Prime Minister is going to address 2 rallies. One is Siliguri and another is Kolkata. So
yes.
That is why Mamata Banerjee has chosen, she will reply what Prime Minister has said. And this is also interesting to know, Aishwarya, that TMC tried all its best so that Siliguri ground is not given to BJP for the rally, and administration didn't give permission to BJP for the rally. Then the venue was shifted and it is going to be held in railway ground in Siliguri. So it is very neck chasing of the voters and also addressing the people and also replying Mamata Banerjee in trying to showcase that BJP is outsider party, Mamata Banerjee TMC is the native party. So this type of debate is also she is trying to initiate.
Yes.
And
Yes.
In that way it is very, very political confrontationist area in that way. And today is going to be a very hot day in West Bengal when Prime Minister Narendra Modi is addressing at 2 places,
Yes.
and Mamata Banerjee, the chief minister, is also addressing after Prime Minister finishes his speech.
Indeed,
Yes,
and of
that's
course,
right.
West Bengal is a very important state. It has the third highest number of seats after, of course, UP and Maharashtra. Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for all those updates there on that story. And with just over a week to go for the Lok Sabha elections to begin, all political parties have intensified campaigning across the country. BJP President Amit Shahs will lead a party's campaign in Uttarkashi in Uttarakhand. He will also hit the campaign trail in Jammu and Kashmir with 2 mega rallies in Udhampur and Rajouri districts of the state. Meanwhile, Congress President Rahul Gandhi will campaign in Nagaland and Assam today. He will begin the day with a public meeting at Dimapur District Sports Stadium in Nagaland. This will be followed by public meetings in Golaghat and in North Lakhimpur in Assam. All right, so as the Lok Sabha elections come near, of course, all the political parties are putting their best foot forward as far as campaigning goes. And of course, we mentioned about West Bengal, where key rallies are lined up. Similarly, in the state of Uttarakhand today, Amit Shah will lead the party's campaign in Uttarkashi, and he's also going to go to Jammu and Kashmir. And our colleague Ravindra Singh Shuran is tracking all those developments from Dehradun very, very closely. Very good morning, Ravindra. What more can you tell us about Amit Shahs rally in Uttarakhand today?
Yeah, good morning, Aishwarya. All the political parties, including the BJP, are campaigning very intensively as the election is inching closer. 11th is the day when whole of the Uttarakhand, all the 5 seats are going for the polls. Remember, in the last election in 2014, BJP could manage to win all the 5 seats in this hill state. And this time also, as the BJP is ruling in state and as well as in the center, the BJP is quite confident that we will be able again to win the 5 seats. The BJP president is going to address a rally. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he had addressed rallies a couple of days back in Rudrapur. In this, also, some of the issues which were long pending in Uttarakhand, the BJP government here is claiming that they have managed to resolve all the problems of the people here in Uttarakhand. Especially when we spoke to the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, Theresa May, he has suggested that some of the issues, including that the immigration, the migration of the people who are moving from Uttarakhand to different plain areas in search of employment, that issue has the BJP government is trying to tackle. And now the time has come when reverse migration is already started in the state of Uttarakhand. Also, as we have traveled to the Jammu and Kashmir, if I'll take you to the Jammu and Kashmir, the Jammu Kashmir is quite a very different state. In fact, this is happening for the first time in the history of this country's electoral process that one of the seats is going for the polls in 3 different phases. That is Anantnag. 2 states of the Jammu Kashmir are going for the polls on 11th of this, Jammu and Udhampur. Both are comparatively a bit plainer area. And Jammu and Udhampur, both the seats BJP could manage to win last time. This time also BJP has fielded the same 2 candidates, Jugal Kishore Sharma from Jammu and Dr. Jiten Singh, the Union Minister from Udhampur area. And BJP is quite confident that this time also the people of Jammu and Kashmir, they will vote in favor of the BJP. Prime Minister himself has addressed a rally in Jammu in the last week. And BJP senior leaders, they are also scheduled to address rallies in different phases of the election. So this is quite an interesting election this time around, Aishwarya.
Right. Thank you so much, Ravindra, for all those updates there. Indeed, campaigning has picked up pace ahead of Lok Sabha polls, and TMC Chief and West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee will kick off her party's campaign in the state with a rally in Dinhata in Cooch Bihar constituency, which go to polls in the first phase. BSP Chief Mayawati will also address election meetings at Vijayawada, Tirupati and Hyderabad in Andhra Pradesh. She will be joined by her new ally, the Janasena party founder Pawan Kalyan in the state. The 2 leaders will jointly campaign for the candidates of the Janasena, BSP and left parties in Andhra Pradesh. And in Odisha, BJD Chief Naveen Patnaik is also going to start campaigning for his party nominees for the first phase of the polls. And the Congress party released a list of 20 candidates for the Lok Sabha polls. The party released the names of candidates for Punjab, Gujarat, Jharkhand, Odisha, Karnataka, also for Himachal Pradesh, Chandigarh and Dadar and Nagar Haveli. The Congress fielded former Railway Minister Pawan Kumar Bansal from Chandigarh Lok Sabha seat and Punjab Chief Minister Amrinder Singh's wife and former Union Minister Praneet Kaur from Patiala for the upcoming parliamentary polls. In Himachal Pradesh, the party has cleared the name of Pawan Kajal from the Kangra Lok Sabha seat. The Congress party also released a fresh list of 9 candidates for Odisha Assembly election. And the BJP on Tuesday announced the names of 3 more Lok Sabha candidates. The party fielded Malayalam film actor Suresh Gopi from Thrissur in Kerala. The party also released the names of 2 more candidates from Gujarat, namely Sharda Ben Patel to contest from Mehsana and Darshana Jardosh from Gujarat in Surat. And with this, the BJP has announced the names of 377 candidates. The party has so far announced the candidates for all the Lok Sabha seats which go to polls in the first 4 phases of the 7-phase election. The party has also released the names of 11 more candidates for the Odisha State Assembly polls, which will be held in 4 phases starting from 11th of April and ending on 29th of April. The election manifesto of the Indian National Congress Party was released on Tuesday in the presence of senior Congress leaders, including party President Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi and former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. The Congress manifesto makes several big-ticket promises with a few major focus areas. Now, these include eliminating poverty, creating more jobs, reducing farmer distress, providing health care for all, and simplifying the GST regime.
मैनिफेस्टो में 5 बड़े आइडिया हैं, हमारा हाथ का सिंबल है और 5 हमारे मेन थीम्स हैं.
5 fingers in the Congress hand and 5 big ideas in the party's manifesto. After 121 public consultations and 53 closed-door consultations, the party has prepared a manifesto that it says reflects the hopes of the people.
As every survey, every research will tell us, the real issues are, number 1 is unemployment. The second issue is farmers' distress. Farmers' loan burden has increased year after year after year.
The 5 big promises in the manifesto include minimum income guarantee to eliminate poverty or the Nyunatam Aay Yojana. Under this scheme, 72,000 rupees per year will be transferred to the poorest 20% households in India. And as far as possible, the amount will be transferred to the woman of the household. The party has pledged to make jobs its number 1 priority, both in the public and the private sector. To ensure 34 lakh jobs in the public sector, all 4 lakh central government vacancies will be filled before March 2020. State governments will also be persuaded to fill their 20 lakh vacancies. For farmers, the Congress promises to put them on the path from Qarz Maafi to Qarz Mukti. This will be done through remunerative prices, lower input costs and assured access to institutional credit. The party has also promised to present a separate Kisan budget every year and establish a permanent National Commission on Agricultural Development and Planning.
किसानों का एक सेपरेट बजट होना चाहिए. हिंदुस्तान के किसान को मालूम होना चाहिए कि उसको कितना पैसा दिया जा रहा है, उसकी एमएसपी कितनी बढ़ाई जाएगी, सब उसके सामने होना चाहिए. जो हमारे किसान हैं, ईमानदार लोग, वो जब बैंक लोन लेते हैं, अगर वो पैसा वापस नहीं दे पाते हैं तो उनको जेल में डाल दिया जाता है, क्रिमिनल ऑफेंस माना जाता है. हमने निर्णय लिया है कि उसको अब हम क्रिमिनल ऑफेंस ना माने.
The party has also promised to enact the Right to Healthcare Act and guarantee every citizen free diagnostics, outpatient care, free medicines and hospitalization through a network of public hospitals and enlisted private hospitals. As for the GST regime, the Congress promises to radically simplify it with a single moderate rate of tax, zero rating of exports and exemption for essential goods and services. The Congress has also promised to allocate 6% of the budget for education. The Congress manifesto also says that entrepreneurs will not have to seek any permission for first 3 years for their businesses, and businesses with over 100 employees will be asked to implement an apprenticeship program. The manifesto also promises to review the controversial AFSPA that gives unprecedented power to security forces in disturbed zones like Jammu and Kashmir and some parts of the northeast. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And Finance Minister Arun Jaitley hit out at the Congress party and its manifesto, saying that the Congress party's intent is never clear, and this can be made out reading the finer details of the manifesto.
Even though there was a drafting committee, but it appears that some of the important points have been drafted by the Congress President's friends in the Tukde gang when it deals with Jammu and Kashmir and national security. मैनिफेस्टो में ये कहा गया कि जब वो वायदा करते हैं उसको निभाते हैं, लेकिन जानकारियों के अभाव में जो वायदे किए जाते हैं और ऐसे वायदे जो किए जाते हैं जिनको कभी लागू नहीं किया जा सकता, जो अपने आप में खतरनाक हैं, तब तो जनता उनको ये अवसर नहीं देगी. इस मैनिफेस्टो में ऐसे एजेंडाज हैं जो देश को तोड़ने का काम करते हैं, राष्ट्र की एकता के खिलाफ जाते हैं, और जो कांग्रेस पार्टी और विशेष रूप से गांधी परिवार की, नेहरू गांधी परिवार की ऐतिहासिक भूल थी जम्मू कश्मीर के संबंध में, जिसके लिए देश कभी उनको माफ नहीं कर सकता, उस एजेंडा को और आगे खतरनाक रूप से बढ़ाने का प्रयास करते हैं.
Right, let's get to some other news. As per the fourth schedule of the Constitution of India, the Rajya Sabha was first constituted on 3rd of April 1952. Since then, the day has been observed as Rajya Sabha Day. In 1952, it had 216 members, of which one was a nominated woman member, Rukmani Devi. Now, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan was the first chairman and also the first vice president of the nation. And on this occasion, the chairman of Rajya Sabha has congratulated the Council of States and all the members, officials and employees of the Rajya Sabha. In a Facebook post, Venkaiah Naidu called Upper House as the watchman of democracy. And Rajya Sabha Deputy Speaker Harivansh also congratulated everyone. He expressed, however, concern over continuous disruption that the House has been facing recently.
बिना अनुशासन के, बिना मर्यादा के कोई देश आगे नहीं जा सकता. यह देश अलग अलग संस्कृतियों, भाषाओं, परिवेश का देश है. हम सबको मिलकर साथ चलना, और पार्लियामेंट्री डेमोक्रेसी से बेहतर कोई डेमोक्रेसी नहीं हो सकती, कोई व्यवस्था नहीं हो सकती. कैसे राजतंत्र से हम यहाँ तक आज पहुँचे हैं, ह्यूमन जर्नी में, मानव यात्रा में, इससे बेस्ट कोई और व्यवस्था नहीं हो सकती. लेकिन उसको हम चलने ना दें तो आप समझ सकते हैं कि इससे एक गहरी निराशा पैदा होगी, जो हम अन्याय करेंगे अपनी आने वाली पीढ़ियों के साथ. हमें इस पर गौर करना चाहिए, और राज्यसभा दिवस तो इसके लिए खास तौर से ये सेल्फ इंट्रोस्पेक्शन का डे होना चाहिए. और इससे बढ़िया बात क्या हो सकती है कि देश में चुनाव हो रहा है. चुनाव में लोगों को इस बहस का यह मुद्दा भी बनाना चाहिए कि हमारी जो संस्थाएं हैं, सदन है, चाहे वो लोकसभा हो और राज्यसभा, कैसे वो इफेक्टिवली मर्यादित ढंग से चले, वो डिसरप्शन का केंद्र न बने.
The National Investigation Agency, or the NIA, has arrested the Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorist Nisar Ahmed Tantre. The government brought him back to the country from the UAE on 31st of March. He had been detained by the UAE authorities at New Delhi's request and was deported to the national capital, Delhi. Tantre was absconding in the 2017 Lethpura CRPF terror attack case. He had escaped to the UAE on 1st of February this year. Now, Nisar is the younger brother of Jaish-e-Mohammed commander Noor Tantre. Tantre is being interrogated by the NIA at present. 5 CRPF personnel lost their lives after Jaish-e-Mohammed militants attacked the camp in Pulwama district's Lethpura in December 2017. A warrant for Nisar's arrest was issued for having acted as one of the conspirators in the attack. The top international focus, Theresa May will ask the European Union for an extension to the Brexit deadline to break the logjam in Parliament. Now, the Prime Minister says that she wants to meet Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn to agree a plan on the future relationship with the European Union, but she insisted that her withdrawal agreement, which was voted down last week, would remain part of the deal. Now, Corbyn has welcomed Theresa May's offer of Brexit talks, but warned that he reserved the right to try to bring the government down if it is incapable of getting a majority in Parliament. Earlier, May also met her cabinet for more than 7 hours. Remember, the UK has until 12th of April to propose a plan to the European Union which must be accepted by them, or it will leave the European Union without a deal. May agreed a deal with the EU in November 2018, but it has been voted down twice in Parliament by huge margins, and a separate deal also on just the withdrawal agreement lost by 58 votes on Friday. Meanwhile, the foreign ministers of Germany and France have called for more clarity from London after Theresa May said that she would seek a further delay to Britain's withdrawal from the European Union. And that is the wrap on this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.